Welcome back, guys. And yes, we did it. We managed to secure promotion at the end of the day, despite it being a very, very difficult end of the season. We managed to get into the Premier League. And thank you all for coming along. And don't forget, leave a like on your way in, on your way out, because likes drive the algorithm to get this out to new viewers who've not had a chance to see the channel. And the more likes we get, the more it will be thrown out to other people. So even if you don't like it, just leave a like on your way out so that other people can actually get the chance to see it. And we begin now with the Premier League. And what we have to do is put a squad together, because I've been looking at what's going on here, and I reckon that is probably the best squad that I have at the moment, and those are probably the players that I would keep. Nobody else. I really don't feel that any of these have done anything that would warrant them staying. We can look at Loughton, for example. He's 33 years old now. His contract's up. We might as well let him go and get the 25k in wages. Rodriguez, I have no interest in keeping him. Hidalgo, I don't know. Not really the greatest of players. I'm seeing that the stream is poor at the moment. Let me know, guys, if you're actually getting pictures here. I have problems with my internet. Let me know if you're actually getting anything. I don't know if we could possibly even use him. He had such a poor season. He 6.72 average rating. If you look at his form, he actually didn't do anything that would actually suggest to me that he's worth keeping. There's a transfer value of next to nothing. He might as well go out of the door, and we'll get the money in for him. See what we can do. Zauri, another one who just is not good enough to play in the Premier League. Hey Kieran, how you doing? He's just not good enough, and he's been declining anyway. He's a young lad, but there is no way that if we are going to survive in the Premier League, this guy is going to be part of what we're doing. He's got a transfer value of 8.25 million. That might be quite useful. Ashley Barnes, can't wait for him to get out of the door. Josh Cullen is another one who had an absolutely dreadful season and never ever played to what he should have played. And if we look at his form at the end of the season, it's absolutely appalling. One game where he played reasonably well ended up with an average rating of 6.73. He's not really part of my plans. And he has a transfer value of 10 to 11 million. Well, I'm just thinking, these boys tell Harwood Bellis does not, Manchester City do not want to loan him back to us. Bayer, they do not want to loan him back to us. Dervisoglu, I have no interest in keeping him. Matson, he's not really a Premier League fullback, so why bother reloaning him? Ashley Westwood has been sold, so he will be leaving anyway. Brownhill, I think he's on his way out of the door as well. I think he has a contract. Does he have a... Who's going out? Brownhill is going out, yeah. So he's probably one of our better players, but he's already been sold. So these boys here, I've no interest in keeping them. So let's go through these and look at their contracts. We'll just let his contract run down. Rodriguez also just let his contract run down. He's out of the door. And Hidalgo, whatever he wants to be called, 3-star player, but nowhere near good enough. His composure's poor. His mentals are really poor. Work rate is dreadful. He's just nowhere near good enough. So have a look at his contract. expires. Oh, we need to get rid of him, so we'll transfer list him. Yeah, he's already transfer listed, so, and he has some interest, so hopefully he will get sold. Zauri, we'll transfer list him as well. See if we can't. Yeah, he's already transfer listed. No interest though. Let's reduce that a little bit. See if we can get some money for him. I want to get these players out of the door. Ashley Barnes, his contract is about to run out. Yep, so he will just be gone. Josh Cullen. He's an enigma. Has a contract till 2026. Maybe we'll just push him up just for now, into the possibles. Ashley Westwood, another 3-star player. He's 33 years old though. His contract is running out. Let him go. Brownhill, as I said, has already been sold. Dervisoglu will go back. He'll go back. So we're looking at the moment of a squad maybe we have 14. I'm pretty good. Got a bit of a dodgy throat again, Kieran. Since moving back to the UK, I've been plagued with little flus and colds and coughs. The weather in the UK is a little bit different to the tropics, but I'm good. However, we do have a lot of problems here, and we at the moment I'm looking at having a squad of 14 players. In terms of the money that's available, I have 36 million available. We have plenty of wage budget, but we're not going to be able to bring in too many players with that 36 million. So I've got the scouts. Some of them are working on looking at freebies. I'm not allowed to scout. That's outside Europe. I don't have enough scouts either to do that. And I've asked the board for more scouts. And they've said, okay, you can have 2 more. So I did have a quick look, but we are not able to provide the money that Top Scouts want. So I've placed an advert, and hopefully we'll see what comes in with the advert. Scouting wise, we are not good. We look really poor. I've also asked the board to increase the physios' wages because I can't get good physios in, and they said no to that as well. I don't know why Burnley are not a club that are in trouble. And in fact, I suppose they are. They've got 67 million debt and a transfer debt of 35 mil. But they're certainly not in as much trouble as Benfica are. In terms of the projection, the projection is really good, and expected to have 210 million in 3 years' time in the bank. And in terms of the profit made, they're expected in 2 years' time to make a profit of 100 million. So they are not in big trouble. And they're a bit mean with money, though, which is typical of this FM23. Every club I've been to has been mean with money. So somehow we have got to put a squad together, because at the moment 14 players is not enough. And if we have a look at our staff and we go to our director of football, if we can find our director of football. Where is he? Did we sack the director of football, I wonder? We don't have a director of football, do we? Which is a bit of a worry. What happened to my director of football then? Maybe we never had one. Because we could ask... Oh, we do have a director of football. Billy Zaccardi. Why is he not showing up in the staff? He's actually not showing up in the staff, which is really weird, kind of very strange. Oh, because I'm looking in the wrong place. I have two directors of football, do I? He's a technical director. This is the director of football. And he's not bad. He's not a bad director of football. I really enjoyed Preston. I'm actually really enjoying Benfica at the moment. But Benfica has its own challenges, but they are a very, very good team to manage. They're excellent players, developing very good young players. But one of the problem is that they just want to sell all their players all the time. They've got like a 500 million debt and they have to keep selling all the players. So you're developing these young players, they become great, and then they're gone. But we're doing very well with them at the moment. I don't know if you're following along to that. Preston was very good until I was really stupid and lost the save. Preston were a very good team to manage, and I believe lots of people... Hi, Ethan. How you doing, mate? I believe lots of people have had good experiences with Preston, and they were one of the clubs I've managed who had plenty of money and just kept giving me plenty of money. And so we put a very, very good squad together for Preston. And I know certainly I'm not the only one who had success with Preston. But we can go to our director of football. And some people say that this is cheating, but that's his job, is to suggest players. So his job is to find players. And initially, what I'm looking for up to July is players who are free. And so we're going to ask him to suggest some free players. He can't find any goalkeepers. He's got two right backs who are coming to the end of their contract. They're both old. But that's okay. I don't mind signing old players. He looks decent. Doesn't have the greatest of acceleration, but his pace is okay. We're looking for fullbacks on support. I'm going to scout this boy and see what he comes out like. They're always worthwhile scouting them. Nicky Devlin, he's just 29 years old. Again, he lacks pace, which is a bit of a shame. Because when you're playing against these top teams in the Premier League, their wingers are going to be really fast. So you're going to need to have fullbacks who are fast. It doesn't matter about their technical ability as long as they can tackle and they've got a bit of pace. That's all you need. He looks good because his work rate is good. He has good stamina, and so he looks like he's decent. He has good decisions. His composure isn't brilliant, but he is quite aggressive. He could do a job, I think. We'll scout him as well. As they're coming to the end of their contract, they're worth having a look at. So we'll also ask him... We'll go across the pitch. I have no centre-backs at the moment, with both my centre-backs from last season going back to their clubs. Looking at Konza, he's not free. So I need to go back to him. You've got to do it again, have you? So let's get him to suggest. He can't find any. Defender left. Suggest. Can't find any. A DM, very, very important for me. I need, whatever I get in, I need to have a very, very good DM. How are you, Ethan? You doing okay? He can't find a DM. I don't have a midfield right. He can't find a free midfield right. Midfield centre, he's not doing very well at the moment. Attacking mid left, nothing. Shadow striker, nothing. Striker, nothing. So at the moment, he's not doing very, very well. We'll come back to him. Maybe what we could do just suggest some loan targets. Let's see if he can find some loan targets. He can't find a goalkeeper. No, he can't find anything. So it's down to what the scouts can find. DM loan, nah. There's nothing that he can find at the moment, which is not good. Strikers wise, we might be okay. We should be getting Weghorst back. Jason Denyer is a well-known player. Has a good first touch, good passing. He's a good ball-playing defender. He's 27 years old. He's 5 million. He might be worth scouting, but he's outside our scouting zone. Velasquez, I've heard of him too in previous FMs. Good player, but also again outside of our scouting range. And this Konza, who looks like a very good player, we'll scout him. Bit pricey. I don't know if we can afford that. But I guess we just we do have a sports scientist. That's pretty cool. We just work our way through now. There's very little I can do until we can sell a few players. Till we get to July, when players at the end of their contract have gone, we'll then be able to have a look at how much money we've got left in the wage budget, how much money is in the transfer budget, and it's just really just a case of wait and see now. Hedy Lazio set for a move to Sheffield United. Hopefully that'll be useful money, 11.5 million. And we have an under-18s physio. There's nothing really in the development centre, no players really who could come into the team. Nothing worth noting. We will be getting Weghorst back, hopefully, and he's a very good pressing forward, so hopefully he will do a job. We also have Therese Campbell, and one of the things I wanted to have a look at was Therese Campbell, and he can play on the right but not really on the left, because he would have possibly made a good inside forward on the left, but I don't see why he couldn't play on the left. He has a very strong right foot. I think possibly he could play on the left once Weghorst comes back. So something to bear in mind. I'm looking for a squad of about 21 players. I don't think that you need, when you first go into the Prem, I don't think you need more than 21 players. You're only going to play about 46 games over the course of the season. And you don't need more than 21 players. Can I, 390? I can go world now, can I? Yes, I can. We will change that now to world. So we can... we'll have a look at our new scouts when they come in, and then we might send them off outside Europe somewhere. And that might be quite useful. I would say, Timo, yes, he can. And so, as you don't need to have a huge squad, because we're not in Europe, we're not going to do very well in the cups. We're going to play 40 odd games over the course of the season. Our job is to survive, and so we don't need a huge amount of players. They're only going to be playing once a week in the main, and when they do have 2 games a week, then pretty sure they can manage to do 2 games a week. What I found with FM when you have a small squad, you don't get many injuries. And so obviously they can't, if you've only got 21 players, you can't have 8 players out. So, which you can if you have a squad of 26 or 27. So I found that with FM, the smaller your squad, if you can get away with a small squad, then and just get away with it, because they can't injure your players. You'll get injuries. You'll get injured players out for a week or 2 weeks maximum, but you won't get those 2 or 3 months. And we proved that with the Burnley save, because in the Benfica save, I had a very small squad this season, and I hardly had any injuries. I got the odd 1 or 2 weeks. And it's like pretty much the game left my players alone in terms of injuries in that squad. So I'm looking for a squad of 21, 22 players. If I can manage 22, that'll be good. And then you can put a couple of young players on the bench. Always worth keeping an eye on social media when you're going through this. Because, well, sometimes you will make a bid for a player. Sometimes you'll make a bid for a player, and you'll get that email, oh no, it's become public knowledge. I don't think it was any of our staff who've leaked it out. And it will happen to other teams too. And that's where you'll find it here. Because when it becomes public knowledge, what you find is that people jump in on it and everybody else makes bids on it. And it happens to other teams, and public knowledge is in your social feed. So you're looking for players that other clubs are interested in here. And it's a good source of information. Hey, Ikura, how are you? Good to see you. I wanted to actually try and I was trying to work out where you are from. Are you from Korea or Japan? I think it might be South Korea, yeah. So we are just working our way through, and when we get to, I think it's July, several players, their contracts, the 9th of June, I mean, several players, their contracts will end. We will know. So we have the scouts here. Oh boy. We don't have a great selection. He is obviously one of the better ones. He's quite adaptable and he has good ability. So we'll make a bid for him. Now, he's already in a job, so that's probably what he's earning at the moment. So what we need to do is up this a little bit. Let's offer him a little bit more. Let's give him 4 years. And then we'll suggest that. And hopefully he will go for that. And then we have this guy who's very adaptable. Also, he's very adaptable. He's probably a better one. He doesn't have a club at the moment. He doesn't have the greatest attributes, but while the board are not willing to pay the money, then we're going to have to, let's just bump him up a little bit, give him 3 years, and hopefully we'll have 2 new scouts coming in. They're both quite adaptable, and so we can send them off to different parts of the world, South America possibly, and maybe somewhere in Africa. See what we can find there. Maybe even South Korea. See if we could actually find anyone in South Korea. And we just keep going now. We've, I think, have we got all our physios in? No, we're still looking for 2 physios. These 2, they look like the best of a bad bunch. And we will approach to... I can only give you 1.3, Betty, but I can give you 3 years. How's that sound? He's gone for that. But he might not actually take the job. And then he's pretty decent. Also has good sports science. So again, we have this issue where the board will not raise the money to get the staff in. So we're stuck with staff that are not very good. So let's move on. One of the things that I've noticed about FM23 is that sometimes you don't get an end of season review. And we haven't had one. We've been going through this now for a few weeks. We haven't had an end of season review. So it's just quite interesting. I do believe there are lots of glitches in this game this year. Sometimes I've also been known to have the end of season review about 4 weeks later, which is kind of weird. At the moment, we're not finding players. This guy is cheap. Who is he? He's interesting, but he's a ball-winning midfielder, and I don't want a ball-winning midfielder. What I need there is but my word, centre mid. He looks like he's a very, very decent player. Runs with the ball through the centre, shoots from distance, shoots with power. Hits free kicks. He's a free kick taker. We have a lot of free kick takers. Can take a corner. Okay, he is, Kieran, he does look very decent, doesn't he? And it's about cost, really, isn't it? I mean, let's have a word with his agent. So they would want between 450,000 and 8.4 million. And his wage isn't too high. He would likely get a work permit. I think as a centre mid, he would be very useful. He doesn't solve my DLP problem, but he would certainly solve this problem in centre mid. I think he's a very decent player. He's already on my shortlist. Makuta. So who's this geezer? Not as good. And then we have a central defender who looks very, very good. He's very pricey, though. Let's put him on the short list. 20 years old. He looks like a very nice player as a central defender. Physicals can do with developing, but he is only 20 years old. But for 20 years old, his mentals are stunning. I wouldn't mind getting him in, actually, but we have to just wait a little while. Decent player. Priorities are what it is about, and my priority is a DLP. Who's this guy? He is a deep line playmaker, but oh boy, he still has tons of development to do. He could become a 4-star player, but is he good enough? His price is right, but is he good enough to play in the Prem? He's fairly determined. He's not very strong, that's his problem. Yeah, he lacks strength. He also really, for me, lacks passing ability. He's got good off the ball, which is good, because I'd need him to drift around in these areas. And he has fairly decent decision making. And so those are very important for this role. But he also needs to be able to pass a ball. And I'm not sure that's good enough at this level, at Premier League level. But it might be all that we can get. So, and then a right winger. We definitely need a right winger. This boy can play as, he's a winger rather than an inverted winger. Probably is a decent player. So scouts have been busy. I like his aggression. I like his work rate. He's got decent stamina. Again, it will depend on on the money coming in. The price is also right. Yeah, Trev. I just didn't think he was Prem material. He's like 20 years old. He probably could become Prem material, but you're taking a gamble when you're trying to survive. But then, with the money that we have and the amount of players that we need to get in, then something's got to give. And at the moment, I only have about 12 or 13 players. Okay, so we lost the sports scientist, but we got one of the scouts, two of the scouts. And now we need to go and give these boys an assignment. Oh, we can't yet. We got to move on. They're not in the club yet, are they? So there's no sitting down for them. We need to go and give them an assignment now. And Martin Hodge, he's probably just England, but he's fairly adaptable. We just got to send him somewhere. He will adapt. The easiest thing to do would be to send him to Brazil. See if he can find a young player there. Brazilian coming to Burnley. I don't know. So let's send him out to Brazil for a little while. And we'll just get him looking for anything. Any any suggestions, guys? Where can we send him? Brazil is the obvious. He's got adaptability of 19. So he might be able to find a young kid there who we can afford. Let's send him out to Brazil. Why not? Everybody sends their scouts to Brazil. I think I've searched Belgium, to be honest, Trevor. And we've been in Belgium for the whole of the second half of last season, and we haven't found anything there. Nothing at all came up. Also, somebody told me go to Serbia and Croatia, and also nothing came up from Serbia and Croatia either. It's further details. We'll go work permit likely. Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll just send him out to Brazil, see what happens. And then Atkins. Okay, let's send... where have we got? We've got Portugal. We've got two in Portugal now. Oh, no, he's a recruitment analyst. Serbia, Spain, Italy, England, Brazil. Let's send Ian Atkins then to Belgium. Why not? Let's send him to Belgium. And we'll go work permit likely. It's got to be 3.5 star potential for a young kid. We'll send him to Belgium. And we'll make that ongoing. Transfer and loan. And that's Atkins. That should do it. So we have scouts scattered about. Colombians. Maybe we'll switch one of them to Colombia. I don't know. Interesting. I don't know how the stream is. Are you getting good pictures? I'm getting poor on my I'm just going to check the speed, the internet speed, because I'm getting poor. YouTube is saying it's a very poor stream. I don't know how the stream is for you. Is it okay at the moment? Let's just test it. I know the download speed is fine. No, the download speed is quite slow as well. Oh no, it isn't. But let's do the upload test. Well, the last I looked, it was only 5, so that's not good enough. At the moment, it's under 4 for upload, which is not good enough. Just bordering on 4. That isn't good enough, which is why YouTube's saying it's poor. We do have a physio, which is good. We need 2 physios, though. So that's good. We have our physios in. If we have a look at, yeah, that's improved a little bit. Recruitment wise, we've improved. We do have a good coaching team, at least for championship level. So I'm not too concerned about my coaching team. How that will look when we get into the Prem, I don't know. Probably not very good. Because at the moment it's still registering as the championship. And Maatsen, they like saying Maatsen is a good player. He does look like he could do a job. His tackling is poor, marking is poor. And in the tactic, I need to be defensively very good. They're saying that Dervisoglu could become a very good player. I'm not seeing it in him. Good technique. Finishing isn't great. Composure is okay. For a winger, that's okay. Good dribbling, good first touch. But no pace. And positioning is poor, his concentration's poor, he's not very brave, he's not very aggressive, poor work rate, doesn't have good stamina. He doesn't fit the bill for me. He just doesn't do it for me. I'm just prepared to let all those loanies go by and see if we can't pick up some better ones. There must be better players available. I do have one of my scouts looking for players for out of contract. Hey Tito, how you doing? So we just need to get through this early part. What was that was delayed? Oh, he's one of ours, is he? Sometimes I just go on holiday until the 9th of June and then come back on the 9th of June. Because nothing happens in this time. Cool. You have university finals, Tito, or not finals this year? Sometimes, yeah, this game is a pain. It's just like you've just got to wait. Yeah, if you could make your mind up, Sunderland, I'd be very grateful. Sources close that he's generally keen. Yeah, I'm keen to get rid of him. I'm at this point going to request a summary to my inbox. There's only me and the assistant here. He can write to me. Okay. Oh, and there is the playoff final, is it? Blackburn and Cardiff. After we thrashed Cardiff 5-0 in the last game of the season, they have lost. So Blackburn will be going up to the Prem. Oh, look what's happened. We have our end of season review, which just come like a month after. Okay, Tito. So yeah, I mean, yeah, buy the game. It's fun. It's frustrating as hell. It's harder this year. In my opinion, it's much harder. New arrivals, Scott Twine, he got injured obviously as soon as he came, but he is a good player. Therese Campbell, 17, scored 14 goals in one half of a season, so I was very pleased with him. Got him in for 8 million. It was a bit expensive for who he is. McNally, I like him as a centre-back. He actually commanded a place. Muric, I didn't rate him, but he did a decent job. Nobody else did anything particularly well. If we have a look at Weghorst, he got an average rating of 7.26. So he will be coming back, and he will obviously... 5-0 against Cardiff. That was the last game of the season, that was. Hat-trick for Brownhill. Caribou Cup, 1-1 against it. We were so unlucky to lose that game. We've gone up half a star, which is cool. Everything is in the green. Financially, as I said, this club is doing okay. I've seen a lot worse in this particular edition. I thought Bayer and Harwood Bellis were good players. Very, very good players. And Bayer's average rating actually surprises me. We were defensively so solid at the beginning of the season. We just couldn't score goals. That was our problem. But you look at it, like so many players didn't perform. And we just couldn't score goals. Any records? None to speak of, really. But the fans' player of the season was Brownhill. Young player of the season, Scott Twine. I like him, but he didn't live up to his billing. Therese Campbell came in, did a very good job. Was very happy with him. Charlie Taylor was sold in the end. It was a tough season. It was a very, very tough season. But we did manage to get promoted. Again, they're not finding anybody. We just have a quick look through some of these. It doesn't actually tell you where they are, but let's have a look at them. 9.2, he's a bit pricey, but he would be a very good player. Would be a very, very good player. He's 5-star potential, 4.5-star potential. Very, very good central defender. I would worry about him being a ball-playing defender because his dribbling's only 10. But looks like a very good player to me. Someone that we will keep an eye on for a little while. Really looking for a good right winger. 20 years old. Nah, not for the Premier League. Got to get a right winger in more than anything else, and a DLP. Those are the two things that I desperately need. Who's this guy? 23 years old. He's a ball winner. Not interested. Yeah, we're struggling to find that DLP at the moment. He's a DLP. It's cheap. 4-star potential. Can pass the ball. He reminds me a little bit of Bayek. And one of the things about the DLP that we need, what we need in the DLP, is somebody like Bayek. Needs to be able to tackle. He's often going to be isolated here, and he needs to be able to tackle. He needs to be quite aggressive and quite strong, as well as being able to pass the ball. So he looks a bit, he reminds me a bit of Bayek, this guy. His passing isn't bad for a 23-year-old. He's quite strong. He can tackle. He's quite aggressive. He reminds me a little bit of Bayek. He's the kind of player that I'm looking for. Whether he's good enough to do the job. In my save, I've been deemed the greatest manager ever. The GOAT. Also, awesome. I am absolutely no good at finances. I took over Benfica. They were 500 million in debt. They are still 500 million in debt after 3 seasons. And I've sold so many players and, I don't know, developed young talent, and it's still the same. So I really don't know how to solve that problem. Maybe it's to do with the club rather than me. Maybe they're just wasteful of their money. So I kind of like him. Whether he's good enough or not, I don't know. He doesn't have any attributes that look like they are particularly bad. His mentals are decent. His physicals are decent. I'd say he's a good championship player rather than a decent Premier League player. So probably not. So we have to just go through these. Oh. Another one who is a deep line playmaker. Again, he's 23 years old, but his passing, he's nowhere near as good as the last one we looked at. Tackling isn't good, and I need a DLP who can tackle. We have another one here, but he's a ball winner. And who is this geezer? A ball winner. Plenty of ball winners to be had. Probably getting a lot of these because Burnley traditionally were a ball winning team. So their scouts are probably looking for ball winners. Danilo, 22 years old. We'll scout him. Again, he looks decent. He can put his foot in. He's quite aggressive. Again, a decent player. But we'll have a look at when the scouts... You think he could be a James Milner? Good all-rounder. Ooh, cheap. He's cheap. Good jumping reach, good strength. Decent pace. Composure, concentration let him down though, don't they? But let's... Got 5-star potential. Let's scout him. He's cheap. He might not be that bad. Nah, no passing ability. Okay, let's work our way through. So yeah, I'm looking at getting 9 or 10 players in. If I can sell 1 or 2, it will be possible. It's whether or not I can raise maybe 20 more mil, 25 mil. Yeah, okay. Okay, they don't play very often. Okay. Okay. True enough, I really don't want him at the club. Vitinho showing no improvement in his quickness. That doesn't bode well. We'll do all of that. And Alan Roach. Does that mean that I've lost a scout? Does that mean I've lost a scout? No, it doesn't. I'm not quite sure why they were telling me about Alan Roach as a scout moving to someone. Nothing to do with me. So we are now moving into June. Nothing has happened in the month of May, but then nothing does happen until around about the middle of June normally. Don't offer Rodriguez, don't offer Barnes. I'm no intention. Kevin Lafron. I hate these youth contracts. We don't want any of that nonsense. Oof, pricey. Okay, that's one. We don't want to keep those in. You can just be a future prospect. Again, he's a little pricey. Let's try him with that. He's gone with that. So far, so good. And then we just got one more, Gabrielson. They're all trying it on. I want to be a fringe player in 2 years. We'll work for it, and you might be. But we're not making any guarantees. We don't want that 10% nonsense. Okay, so those three are signed up. Taylor Harwood Bellis, we cannot keep him. I would like to keep him, but if we go and look at, we cannot make an offer. So I don't know what he's talking about. Keep him at the club? Nah. Okay. Ashley Westwood. 32 years old, 33 years old. He's going to be 34 soon. Keep him at the club? No. So, I don't want to offer him a contract. Don't offer a contract. Set for release. Set for release, yeah. Now, just in the meeting, he was telling me that Matt Lowton should be offered a new contract. Now he's saying set for release. Sometimes you get some very, very strange advice. He can go, DOF can go and do that. Set for release. And we'll get the DOF to do all of those. I wonder if we can set for release. And then maybe the DOF can do. Can I get this done all in one go? No, I have to go through them one at a time. Oh, why don't FM make it possible to do all of those in one go? He's a set for release. Set for release. Set for release. Set for release. Okay, so and here we go, another lot. DOF can do all of these. I trust him to do staff contracts. He might have been, Trevor, he might have been on my short list. That's why they were bothering with me with that stuff. Don't offer a contract. Don't offer a contract. Okay, and then the youth candidates. And then set for release. Interestingly, Burnley's youth, they've not produced anything at all. Loan players have returned. Still no still no Veghorst in there, is there? Let's walk away. I don't want to offer him a new contract at 33. Some very nice players in here. Oh, who is this geezer? Could play as a striker, could play as the left wing inverted, can play as the inside forward out there. Nice. End of contract. He is end of contract. I think we'll get him in. When is his contract? 5th of June. So I think that he will be one that we should get in. I've lost him now. Where is he? This one, Tillman, from Rangers. On the 5th of June, he will be available on a free. He looks decent to me. He can play on that left-hand side very well, and his price is cheap. Crossing doesn't really matter about it. He's going to play as an inside forward. Good dribbling, good first touch. His finishing is good. We need people who can finish. Good passing. It doesn't have very good work rate, but he's going to play as an inside forward. Defensively, we should be solid anyway, so I would say positioning isn't great. Concentration, he's got faults, but for this price, I think he probably would make a good signing. Who is this geezer? Sarmiento. Another one who's quite decent. 16 dribbling. Better work rate. And his contract is about to run out very shortly. Could even play as the right winger for us. Could do a job on the right. He looks decent. 20 years old. Brilliant dribbler. Good acceleration, good pace. Again, not very strong. There's a lot of stuff missing from his game, his mentals, but they will develop over time. He doesn't make very good decisions, but technically a very good player. That's just they are saying, the staff are saying he would be an excellent signing. Current international, consistent performer. Doesn't like a tackle, and he lacks the game intelligence. I don't know. We'll have to. We'll look at him later on. This boy could be what I'm looking for. Again, he's 21 years old. There's lots of young boys out there who are good at this DLP role, but maybe not Premier League level. Another good one there. Josh Sargent is a forward. Lewis Bate. Again, 20 years old. Plenty of development left in him. But I need someone who can hit the ground running in that position. Good tackling. Again, 14-14. It's not quite good enough. He's Brazilian. So the scouts are beginning to find players. Again, 13-12. So they're not quite, what they're finding are not quite good enough. But we'll keep them looking. Sean Longstaff, he's a centre mid, isn't he? He's not actually good enough to play as a DLP. But he's a good let's get stuck in type player. Jason Knight. Interesting player. Crossing is not really important. Tackling's more important, and aggression and speed. So they're starting to find some pretty decent players. Not quite yet what we're looking for, but decent. We have a centre mid here who looks very, very good. Not brilliant, but good. Here, the DLP is the whole basis of how this system works. If you have someone good in here as the deep line playmaker, this tactic works. By putting this deep line playmaker on a support role, he has a license to roam, and so he gets all over this area of the pitch, and he therefore needs to be very, very good. He needs to be a good passer of the ball. He needs to be able to pick up the ball in this area and fire balls over to the right-hand side. He needs to also be able to support the winger and the shadow striker in this area. He is a key player in this system, as well as the forward. But this guy has to be good at his game. But because he's also isolated here, sometimes he needs to be able to tackle. Both of these players need to be able to tackle, and so he's a key role. Yeah, pretty much, Trevor. Yeah, he's just got a license to pretty much, when we're attacking, he can go where he wants, because on the support duty he's not told to hold his position. It's risky, and therefore you have to have a good back four, and that's why we play fullbacks on support, so we don't have these fullbacks going very high up the pitch, so that we keep our back four intact, and then he can just then like roam around, go wherever he pleases, and he supports the winger out here. He supports the centre mid. This should be a centre mid on support, can be a box to box. And so he's kind of like, he's the key to all of this. So he needs really good passing, good vision. He needs to be able to tackle. He needs to be fairly aggressive, quite strong. And yeah, you can't just take anybody and to put into that role. It's got to be the right person for the job. And that's why Bayet came in, because he, for that level, he was a very good passer. He was very strong, very aggressive, Can we get Harwood Bellis back, I wonder? Nope, we're still not allowed to make a loan. Which will which will affect this squad now. If we go to have a look at our squad, we still it's big. We still need to get rid of these boys. Some of them are going when their contracts end, and then we should have 3 that hopefully we can sell. Yeah, for me, he's like the crutch. He's like everything. If you don't have a good DLP in this tactic, you're screwed. And I think that was what the problem was with Burnley last season. Well, Bayek is good. I don't think he's quite good enough. He's got good passing, good vision, excellent first touch, and good technique. So in terms of his technical ability, he's good enough to play in that role. Has an excellent work rate. He can tackle. He's aggressive. He's quite strong. He has all the attributes to be a good deep line playmaker in that position. He didn't quite make it though, but maybe his time is about to come. So he could still do the role, I think, because his passing vision, his tackling, his technique, he has the right attributes to do it. He's also a very good centre mid on support for me because he'll put his foot in. And he's strong and he can carry the ball. Bastian also will make a good centre mid on support. He has decent tackling. He's not brilliant. He also has good passing and vision. His mentals are pretty good for... There's not one of these that looks poor. He has good pace. So stamina-wise, he's decent. He'd make one day, he will make a very good centre mid. So we do have like possibilities, but at the moment I see them more as backup rather than being first team players in the system. And we got to remember we've got £40 million to spend, and we have holes in the squad to fill, but the first thing to do is to see if we can get anybody in free that can fill those holes, and then we'll use the money to French Youth Invitational. No, I don't think so. We don't have enough coaches for the under 18s. Fitness 14, that's not bad for under 18s. Who's he then? Coaching, fitness 15. I think I prefer the other one though. Yeah, he's got better discipline. Okay, approach to sign him. Let's give him 2 years. See if he'll go for 2 years. He's got a good level of fitness for the under 21s, under 18s. Another loan manager. Why? Doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, well, let's approach him and then compare later with what we've got already. Let's just go with that. He's happy to take that. Recruitment analyst. Okay, let's go for it. Let's see if he'll go for that. Okay, good. He's one of ours, so it doesn't really matter. I had a chat with Connor Roberts, who would like to talk about an improved contract. I don't even know if he's going to be part of my setup. He is a good player, but again, he's another one who had a dreadful, dreadful season. He's on a contract of 19.25. He fits in because I do see him as my first choice fullback. Let's try something. Agent has no relationship with me. Who's Phyllis Gurk? Who the hell is Phyllis Gurk? Let's have a look at his happiness. He holds me in the highest regard. So, okay, let's go and talk to him. Which one? It's like a lottery. He does hold me in the highest regard, though. I'm not going to give a view. I don't want to criticize him. Let's try this one. No. Let's offer him a new contract, though. I guess we have to offer him a new contract. He's going to fleece us now, is he? Oh, it's not too bad. Not too bad. Let's see how much we can get him for. Important player. He wants. Okay, we'll just reduce it later. Oh, that's a little bit more than you thought. Than I thought, than you said. Oh, he's gone for it. Good. Okay. At least we have one fullback. Yeah, the whole point of this tactic is that it's very attacking. They will attack, even though there's a number of support roles. It's very, very attacking, and these boys up here just attack from anywhere. And when the DLP is on a support duty, which you would have him on for weaker teams, they're all attacking from everywhere, and the defense just looks after itself. This back four just stays as a back four. It doesn't move particularly far, and it just stays as a back four. So these boys are then free to go and do whatever they need to do, and these boys then just look after the defensive stuff that's going on. It works very well, this tactic, but it does need to have there's a few key positions that have to be absolutely right. Liverpool won the FA Cup final on penalties against Everton. The FA Cup review. I think we did quite well in the FA Cup. Hey, Ali, how you doing? Welcome to Burnley. We are just slowly chatting, going through the transfer window. We have a very small squad at the moment, and we're waiting until it gets even smaller. We have a lot of money to spend, 40 million. It's not bad. It's not brilliant. We have to bring in about eight or nine players. But at the moment, we're trying to find end of contract players, and we do have our eye on a couple of them. So when July comes along, or June comes along, when are these contracts? When are these guys out of contract? Is it July that they're out of contract? Who's this very interesting? Garius Macateo. Ooh, he's a ball-winning midfielder. He's the one I was looking at as the centre mid. Yeah, he'll do a good job as the centre mid on support. What do you think, guys? He looks pretty decent to me. He's very strong. Stamina's good. Natural fitness. Very strong. Can tackle. Passing isn't brilliant, but also has a bit of finishing about him and a long shot. I like him. I like him as a player. Could do a decent job. Could do a very decent job. But I'm looking for those boys who we were looking at who were free. The contract was running out. This was one, wasn't it? No, his contract's a long way off. Where are the freebies? They'll come to light in a minute. He's also a decent player. 27, long time left on his contract. Yeah, he's such a good player. Wonder if I can get him on loan. His mentals are really good. Can I get him on loan? Let's suggest I'm not going to allow it. Okay, but still. Who's a DLP who's cheap? But where are those boys that I put on the shortlist where their contracts are due to expire? So we have a fitness coach for the under 18s. Marvellous. Who is he? Keelan Williams. Obviously has been done by someone else. There is nothing really happening at the moment, is there? It's quite quiet. We need to get through to July. It will all start kicking off in July. We'll have players starting to move out in June, but nothing really happens. Connor Roberts has signed that new contract worth 10 million. Yeah, of course you're happy with it. Cost me a lot of money. Who is this guy? The recruitment analyst. He's 15. Oh, yeah, I think we could probably let him go, couldn't we? Can't analyze data. It's only got analyzing data of 9. So let's get through to at least the 9th of June and see how many players we got left after the 9th of June. Yeah, Asperilla should be good. I'm not quite sure why he's not... Burnley declare interest in Salisu. Did I? Scout him then. 23 million. You're having a giraffe. I wish. Might be able to get him on loan. Who knows? The transfer window has officially begun. Will there be any deals? I'm always working to improve the squad. Well, since we only have about 12 players, I expect so. Katana. Let's have a look at him. Oi, what did I do there? Salisu, we've already decided that's probably not going to happen. Oh, who's this then? 14.5 million. Very decent. Left winger. Very nice. You have to scout him, I suppose. Oh, he's already scouted. Four-and-a-half star potential. Good player. Asprilla. I must have signed him then before the transfer window opened, before the end of season. Must have signed him. He's a good player. I remember now. He's a very good player. I've brought him in to play in that shadow striker role. Can play that role very nicely. Or he could even play on the left wing. And is a good cover for the forwards. Yeah, he's a good signing. So if we go to... we can bring him up. So we could put him in here. And then Twine can go out on the left wing. Or we could even switch those two around. Doesn't really matter. I would like him to be an inside forward. So it doesn't really matter which one. That's the low block, isn't it? We're going to play with a low block this season. So already that's starting to look a little bit better. When Weghorst comes back, it's starting to take a little bit of shape. Asprilla is a good sign. Did they take any money off me for that? No, they didn't. They must have taken it off before the end of the season. Top 10 player in the world in your save. Oh, well, we might have got a good one then. I've offered a contract to Kevin Long. 32 years old. Fine, let him go. Oh, and somebody's trying to pinch my scouts. Oh. He wants me to put pressure on my players. So we'll just do a no comment. No comment. Oh, he said that should be enough for my editor. See you soon. This is stupid. Should we sign? Yes, of course we should. Do we have 30 million? No, of course we don't. Not unless things start to happen. Oh, why not? I don't even know who he is, so he's obviously not made an impact on me against. Where is Weghorst? His loan is very slow. Where is he? When does his loan finish then? Expires 30th of June. Why is he not coming back then? It's been teasing me this game for a season, a whole season with Weghorst. Oh, it's 30th of June, is it not? 9th of June. Mitrovic. Yeah, like we can afford him as well. John Joe Salvi. 8 million. Very good deep line playmaker. Lacks the pace now. 31 years old. But what a good deep line playmaker he would make. And then there's this boy. 18 million. Centre backs are generally very easy to find in FM. Centre backs, box to box, generally very easy to find. And you can, if you wait long enough, you'll find very cheap ones that will do a very good job for you. Nothing's happening in terms of loans. We're not getting anything out of the scouts in terms of loans. I wonder if I go to the director of football, suggest transfer target for a loan. He has suggested a few players for a loan. A good player, good acceleration for a centre back. Could possibly play him as a left back as well. Decent dribblings, crossing's a bit dodgy, but then we don't need people who can cross the ball. Oh, the stream has suddenly become excellent, so it's righted itself. He's worth a scout, this boy. He might be a very good loan prospect. Let's scout him as well. Might be able to bring in some decent centre backs on loan. And Nathan Phillips is a very good player. Maybe he's another one we could think about bringing in on loan. He's a very good player. He's very good in the air. He's 6'3", good marking, good tackling. There's a decent work rate. His mentals are pretty good for it. Yeah, if we can get him. I wonder, let's try. See if we can get him on loan. 25k is wages. Wonder if we can get him to drop that down a little bit. Yeah, they want the full whack. Okay, let's go for it. Nathan Phillips is a good player. Let's see if we can get a start by getting a few good loans in. Has been accepted. And because I don't have any central defenders, he will probably make his decision quite quickly. which is always quite interesting. If you have 3 or 4 already, then they will drag out the decision. You need to go to these even though they're pointless. Yeah, he's a quality player. I think he can that'll do nicely. Are you confident? I certainly hope he can make a big contribution. How do you anticipate the squad? I'm convinced the signing will be welcomed by everyone. Do you have too many players on the right wing? I don't have anybody. Are you concerned that Yasser's different age profile bring us a fresh perspective? The sky's the limit for him. You need to go to these because the player's morale is important here when he first joins the club. My job to make sure. Public, do you think? No. I'm not going to get into a debate. Will Yasser be able to settle in quickly? That's a good question because I should have checked on him. Let's just check his report. Peripheral figure in the squad. He will be. So yeah, will he settle in? You don't want to say he'll get to know everyone he doesn't know, and he'll be better for it once it's happened. That's what you want to do. Do you think this is the type of signing that will help Burnley raise its long term? I think so, yes. So his morale is good at the end of that. I haven't put too much pressure on him in terms of him settling in. So hopefully he will settle in quite nicely, and it will only take him pre-season to fit into the squad. So we're starting to make a couple of signings. If we can bring another couple of players in without spending any money, that'll be awesome. What was that? Hamilton offered a contract to Will Hugel. Hey STK, how are you doing? We are going through pre-season, looking for players to buy. Who is that? I don't even know who these players are. McCulloch. Yeah, he can go. He's a waste of time. So he can go. I'm good, STK. As I said, we're just working our way slowly through June. We've gone through May and June now. It's a process. This, we have a poor squad. We were very, very fortunate to achieve the objectives and get promoted, and we have to be very careful now how we actually spend the money that we've got. Who is this? Oh, physios. The physios have come in. We do have money to spend. It's not a lot. We have 36 million. The squad is getting bigger, but I don't want any of these associated with the team. So I reckon a squad of 21, 22 will be good enough. And we have some key positions where we need to get players in. So how we yeah, I don't, SDK, I don't cheat. I kind of like this, either the director of football or the scouts. It's kind of like I just feel like it's cheating if you actually go and sign someone that I knew from a previous save. Like, I could go and look at Benfica players and sign those and bring them in. If it's not related to this save, I won't do it. And I'm not going to just go and sign a player because I know that player. It has to be the scouts find them. And I just think it's much more realistic if you do that. And to be fair, the scouts are doing a much better job at the moment than they were doing before. Now, you see, they found this guy. Now, there's a name that I know, Brooklyn's Lynn Foster, and he becomes a very good Premier League player. And the scouts have found him, so therefore, I could sign him. And he will become, he's got 3.5 star. I've seen him go to 4 star. He will become a very good player. And so he's someone that I could bring in, and so I'm going to add him to the shortlist. He'd be free of charge, so he's definitely someone I would be very interested in bringing in. We could do with extra. We have 1-2 fullbacks, and we could do with extra fullbacks. So he'll be someone I would definitely be looking at bringing in. Exceptional player. And so I just tend to leave it to the scouts. They tend to do a very good job at the end of the day. If you don't panic too much at the beginning, the players they find seem to get better and better. And as you get towards the end of August, they're finding some very, very good players. And another one, Brandon Williams, of course, is a very good FM player. He's a bit pricey for my liking. I'm just, at the moment, focused on these freebies. And he's good, but not good enough. he would do. Oh no, he can't play the DLP in the defensive mid role. Hey Blob, how are you doing? Good to see you. I mean, if he was like John Joe Selvey was 5 years younger, I'd probably sign him. Suter, he's Cardiff, isn't he? No, he's Rangers. Thought he was Cardiff. He probably is a decent player for 1.4 million. It would also just depend on, did he want to be a squad player? Would he be happy being a squad player? Would he want to be an important player? He's a decent player, and would probably do a very good job. So we'll keep an eye on him as well over the summer. He's a very, very good player, I think. So the scouts are starting to find players now. And as long as we don't panic, then we'll be okay. They're starting to get better at finding what I'm looking for. So we will progress. I just want to find out if we've got that loan. Have we managed to get that loan in? That'll be a coup. I think Phillips is a very good player in FM, and that'll be a good coup. He is also a good player in FM. Kai Wagner. He is pricey though, if I remember rightly. It's very pricey. Yeah, he's American, isn't he? He's a little bit on the prices. Well, he's actually not bad, 3.1 million. He would do a good job as a left back as well. So we'll keep an eye on him as well. We're already doing that. I think he would be decent. If we could get him in as a squad player, he'd do very well, because Kirkin is obviously the number one. We have then Vitinho, who can play as a left back. We will have Kai Wagner, who can play as a left back. So plenty of cover there then. So definitely worth keeping an eye on. Doncaster, Marcel Lewis. Yeah, why not? You can go out on loan. Be good for you. Okay, Tito, we'll see you again soon. And as we go through the transfer window, we'll start playing some games once the players are back. We'll see how the squad starts gelling together. So hopefully we'll see you on Thursday. And I think it's you. Hope the exams go okay, mate. Hope it really goes well for you. The players, I think, will be coming back shortly. So this guy, Nathan Phillips, he needs to make his mind up. He looks like he's just what I'm looking for, to be fair. We're not going to find a better defender, central defender, that we can afford than this guy. So I'd like him to make his mind up, because we are a bit thin on the ground for central defenders. So I'd like him to make his mind up before the friendlies start. We have to think about arranging some friendlies now. We don't want to arrange too many, because at the moment we don't have any players. So we don't want to be putting these players through the ringer in terms of friendlies until the squad starts growing. That the key to this is you might get to July and you look at this and you think to yourself, I've only got 15 players. And you start to panic. See you Thursday, Trevor. Good to see you. The thing is, the key to it is do not panic. Do not panic. You will get players. And you will find good players in the end. And the more you panic, the worse it's going to get. And so don't panic. Just keep seeing what comes in. And eventually something's going to come in that fits exactly what you want it. Exactly what you want. And all this stuff that they're doing, these are just red herrings. They want you to panic. The game wants you to panic, so don't, and you'll be fine. Everything will work out okay in the end. And yeah, he fine, no problem. He can go off to Aldershot. What I really want to do is get to the beginning of July and then find out who have we got left once all the contracts are finished. I'm definitely pretty sure that in a couple of weeks Phillips will make his mind up. And see, this guy, he is calling out to me. He's definitely calling out to me. Although he's only 3-star, he will do a very good job. He's not bad in the air. What's the scout saying? Asking price is slightly below his value. He's consistent, enjoys big matches. Could get injured, but he's so cheap. Even his wages are cheap. How does he compare? Let's compare him with who have I got? McNally. McNally is quicker and stronger, but Suter is a better defender aerially. They're like about the same. Suter has better vision in terms of the attributes. McNally, Suter, I think, is slightly better. He would do a good job, I think. His physicals, he's not the greatest physically. But if we can bring him in, we'll have 3 central defenders. He's calling out to me, but I'm not going to be panicked into making a decision on him yet. There's going to be better coming along. And there may even be freebies available who are better. Kofi Balmer is a name that rings a bell. I think I've signed him in FM22 for someone, Kofi Balmer. Young player, but lacks physicals at the moment, so maybe not. Tyler Morton, decent player, but he's not aggressive enough for my liking to play that DLP role. But they're getting closer. You can see the scouting is getting much closer with what I'm actually looking for. Harry Winks. Now, he's a boy who could do that job. Expensive, but if we spend 5 million on him up front, it's not going to break the bank. And he is definitely a player who can do that job. Definitely. Can tackle. He's aggressive. He's got good work rate, good stamina. He's composed, he makes decent decisions, good first touch, can dribble. He can do that job. Passing, his vision isn't brilliant, but his passing is good. So he could definitely do that job. And is fairly cheap. So there are plenty of options that we've got available to us. I need to arrange a couple of friendlies. Brownhill has officially gone. Did we get any money for that? I don't think we did we? No, we didn't get any money for that, which is unfortunate. Yeah, I will accept that. Why not? He wanted to leave. Yep. So I am asking for the fans to trust that I know what I'm doing, even if I don't. The Brooklyn's Lynn Foster has gone to Preston. But we have signed Nathan Phillips, which is kind of cool. And Aberdeen have signed Kevin Long. So we want to now go, we're still short at the back. So Kevin Long has gone. But Nathan Phillips comes in and takes his place. Long is 33 years old, and so useful squad option. I think he's going to be better than that. I think he's going to be a better player than that. So I need to arrange some friendlies now. Just a couple. We don't need to go overboard. They come back there. Let's arrange a friendly for the end of the week. We want to win it. So let's play Carlisle. Why not? Friendlies pre-season for me are all about morale. Getting morale up. And we'll do another one. See if we can get a foreign club in. Let's play PSG second team. Why not? And maybe we'll do one more. We'll play... Who are we going to play here? Let's play Bristol Rovers. And then we've got the first 3 weeks of their... Oh, what are you doing? Good Lord. What kind of training is that? Let's go and do it properly. So we'll put in our training here. And here we will have a match review. That's cool. Yeah, that's much better. That looks much better than what he had. Okay, let's keep bursting on. We can get... I don't like these. But you've got to go... Yep, of course we are. I'm hoping... let's see how things go, shall we? He's very happy. These meetings are really silly. They're the same questions you get asked all the time. And all you've got to do is answer it and keep his morale up. They're very, very silly. The player communications and press communications, there's a lot of work to be done on this because at the moment it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense. And with that, at 10 to 10, I'm going to call it a day. I don't think there's anybody left now. So I will call it a day, and we'll be back. We have made a couple of signings already. We have brought in 2 players, Aspria and Nathan Phillips. Oh, you're still there, Blobby. It's YouTube. Then they're not showing any participants in the in the participant screen. We've made 2 signings. We've brought in Aspria. We've brought in Nathan Phillips, and it's starting to look like it's a squad coming together. Spria, I think, is a good signing. When Veghorst comes back, that'll be another player. We'll be up to 16 players then. I'll only need half a dozen more. Still got 40 million. I think we're going to put a squad together which is quite good at the end of the day. I think avoiding relegation, which has got to be what we want to do. I'll be perfectly happy, Blob, just to finish around 14th for next season. We're not going to... You got to think about the teams you're going to be up against. They're very, very good teams. And we're going to play this low block, and we're not going to be pressing too hard. We're going to play this system, solid defense, and then breaking. We will break a counter-attack. We're not going to counter-press. We're not going to be nearly good enough to be pressing teams high up. And I think the system will work. As long as we've got a good front three, the system will work. And these two players need to be very, very good at their job. And I think we've got the beginnings of a squad coming together. If we can continue to get players in cheap, then we may be able to use the 40 million to get two very, very good players in. And if we can get a 30 million DLP and a 30 million right winger, then that would be quite special. So I think we've every chance of getting 14th maybe if we go through this transfer window in the right way. And so far, I'm happy with the players who've come in. Asprilla is good, and Phillips is a good player. So although he's not showing up as anything other than a 3-star, I think he's better than that. And I think he's a good signing. So that's it. I think I'll call it a day from here and go and have a nice cup of tea now. And I'll come back on Thursday. We'll go through a little bit more on Thursday. And hopefully we'll be, by the end of Thursday, we'll have put a really good squad together. And we'll be up to around about 20 players. And it will be looking really good. So see you Thursday, Blob. Hope you've enjoyed it. And I'm going to be curious to get to the end now. See what this squad looks like. And get rid of all these waste of time. And build something that I want to build. That plays in the way that I want to play. Because they never did. They could not do it. And we'll get there. We'll get there for sure. Okay, mate. I shall see you on Thursday. Have a good rest of the night. And take care and see you soon.